Hi guys, today I'm talking to Dog Nightmare. And Dog Nightmare is a Glasgow-based project that was started during lockdown, and just telling me a little bit about how they've been starting that project and the plans for 2021. Hi Sam, thanks very much for being here.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah,
Really pleased to be here.
awesome. Well, if you can just tell us a little bit about background about Dog Nightmare, if anyone who doesn't know you.
So, Dog Nightmare is, I think, as many other people did, it was a project started during lockdown. It was one that I kind of did to stop myself from going insane over the kind of long summer of 2020. And it just started as me kind of messing around with with Ableton and with like recording stuff in my room and with a shitty mic that I got for like 20 quid off of Amazon. And I don't know, I basically was very influenced by, other artists have done similar things. So the likes of Car Seat Headrest, I don't know if you know Car Seat Headrest very well, but they started as a solo project as well. And it was all very much our bedroom recording and low quality, lo-fi kind of sounds. So I guess I was trying to emulate that because that was the sort of sound that I could go for feasibly with like the setup I had at the time. And turns out it's a lot of fun to write songs for that kind of a aesthetic, I suppose.
Cool. And have you been sort of writing anything before this, or is this completely new to music yourself?
No, yeah, I have been writing stuff before. I mean, I've been doing music stuff since I was about 14. I've been in like a range of different bands and stuff, but none of them kind of went anywhere. They were all very much sort of teenage, play a couple of shows and then break up kind of bands. Um, Sort of more punky than the sort of stuff that I write now. I was in a band called Miscommunication for a while, um, which was a good time. But at age 16, you don't really think about getting stuff recorded. It's more about playing live shows and that kind of thing. I'm also in another project, a shoegaze band called Odds Are, who I play bass for. Um, and they had been going since about, I want to say late 2018, early 2019 maybe. And so yeah, I'm also part of them. So I've definitely had a lot of experience music wise. I just sort of felt like with lockdown and with the inability to be, gigging with people and playing with people in real life, why not sort of make something that was, entirely my own and I had full control over and I can do whatever I want with, no sort of being like having to talk to band members and sort of say, is this okay? Is it okay if we try this? I can just do whatever fucking weird thing I want and that's totally okay because it's my project, which is a good time.
How did you sort of, I guess, find starting the whole thing during 2020, during lockdown? Was it a challenge or was there some benefits from doing that as well?
Yeah, well, it was definitely a challenge. I think anyone who's ever started a musical project knows that it takes a little bit to get off the ground. And I would say that I'm probably still in that stage realistically. But I think at the time, starting it during lockdown, I had, uni was finished for me. And I didn't have a job or anything. I was just staying with my parents because I couldn't afford a place. And, it helped me kind of not go stir crazy during lockdown to have something to focus myself on. So I basically just went fully music insane, kind of became a bit of a music goblin. I locked myself away in this like I had a box room at my parents because we didn't have enough space for me. So I was basically in a glorified cupboard, sitting just writing hours and hours every day, and like hardly emerging was how most of the album was written. But honestly, it was a lot of fun, and it gave me something to focus my energy on, other than like I don't know, just remembering that there's a global pandemic on that I can't leave the house or whatever.
Lockdown and coronavirus influenced your new sound, or was that something you were going for already?
Dog Nightmare was an idea that I'd had previously, not under the pseudonym Dog Nightmare, but I had the idea of doing a solo project, and I almost started one in the summer of 2019, actually. But I just never felt like I had the time to sit down and learn how to use Ableton and how to mix and everything. And I mean, I feel like I've definitely been influenced my sound by the other projects I've been in. You know, I very much stick in that kind of dreamy, shoegazy, noise pop influenced kind of sound that a lot of my other bands tend to kind of dip into or, experiment with at times. But I think lockdown probably allowed me to kind of experiment more and it gave me more time to sit and kind of mess around with things and be really pernickety about the sound I wanted. So, it wasn't just a case of sort of like, this sounds fine. It would be me kind of like making sure the guitar part was exactly as I wanted it to sound before recording it. So I guess in that sense, it probably did affect my writing a wee bit, but it's definitely a vein, a sort of sound that I've been in for a good few years now.
When you're in your box room, are you producing everything yourself as well?
Yeah, I produce everything. I mix, record everything. The entire process is me. I mean, okay, that's unfair. I do constantly send my bandmates from Odsar demos and stuff, and force them to listen to them and give me feedback. But aside from that, it is largely me kind of just doing every stage of the process, which I guess is very DIY in nature. So
Got a new EP that's out. Just wondering if you can tell us a little bit about the EP.
the new EP is interesting because I did actually release it last year in October, and it came out on Bandcamp as planned. And then I had a bit of a problem with the getting it out onto other platforms through my supplier, just because it had a quite a large sample from another song in it. So it took a couple of months to actually get that onto Spotify and onto Apple Music and all of that. It's finally there, thank God. I had to remove the one track that had the sample though because they just weren't happy with it. But like AEP is basically me kind of really leaning into the ambient side of things. It's very chill, very. I was listening to a lot of Slowdive. I don't know if you know Slowdive very well, but I was listening to Pygmalion and that sort of era of Slowdive and that very like kind of long, washy, ambient, spacey kind of sound was really influencing me at the time. So I kind of wanted to recreate that, but in a kind of more lo-fi, gritty, analog sounding way, which I think I managed. I don't know. Give it a listen and see if that is something that I managed to pull off. But yeah, no, I'm pretty pleased with it, and I'm glad that it's finally on other platforms other than Bandcamp.
Yeah, what's your sort of plans going forward for the rest of the year? Obviously, looking like we can start having sort of gigs and things back, but have you got anything else planned?
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Ah, man. I mean, in the way of gigs, I've been ferociously signing up to play festivals and stuff in the slight hope that they might happen. Um, I've only ever played the Meadows Festival in Edinburgh with my high school band, Miscommunication. So it would be nice to finally manage to play a couple of festivals um, with Oddsar and with Dog Nightmare. Um, Music wise, there's definitely stuff on the horizon. In fact, I was planning on having stuff out earlier this year. I currently am struggling a wee bit because I've just moved to Glasgow and I don't have all my gear with me. So currently, I'm very much in the demo stages of things, but there will at some point be another Dog Nightmare record, hopefully sooner than later, depending on how quickly I can get all of my recording stuff over here. Um, but yeah, no, it's in the works for sure, and it will be coming out at some point in 2021. Please hold me to that, otherwise I will just not do it. But yeah, no, it's I don't know how much I can say without, because I don't want to paint myself into a corner here sonically. I do have concepts, and it is sounding sort of punkier, more kind of Joy Division driven kind of sounds rather than the sort of wispier, more ambient sounds that were on the previous albums. But I mean, that's all I can really say currently. It's going to be good, hopefully, fingers crossed. and it will be coming out at some point this year. That's all the permanent information I can give you because things are still very much subject to change at this point in the process.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks very much for talking to me today, Sam. That was awesome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Well, that was Sam from Dog Nightmare. So do check out the Leica EP and all his other stuff. So it is now on streaming services, as you heard there, or you can check that out on Bandcamp as well. But thank you very much, Sam.
Awesome. Cheers. Thank you so much.